Carolina Panthers went all the way to the Super Bowl last season but came up just a little bit short. Can they win it this time around? We're about to talk about it. You're watching the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. 32 teams, 32 days, and today we're talking about the Carolina Panthers. Real quick, allow me to apologize because this is a video that was supposed to be uploaded yesterday, but unfortunately over the past 48 hours, I have worked two 16-hour shifts. And I have another 8-hour shift tonight. So I've had so much fun lately that I have not been able to come on here and make a video. But hey, we're here now. We're going to get it done. We're going to talk about the Carolina Panthers. And then later, tonight, we're talking about the Atlanta Falcons as well. We're going to get caught up. I said 32 teams in 32 days. We're going to do that at least. Maybe not every day, but by the end of the 32 days, we will be done with this. So the Carolina Panthers, they lost in the Super Bowl. They won the NFC though, and they were 15-1 in the regular season. And boy, oh boy, how much I missed Panther fans because they've been a little quiet lately, but boy, oh boy, do they come roaring. You guys were loud and annoying last season. I mean, let's be honest. Y'all were the most annoying fan base in the league last year. But hey, it's fine because you support your team and you cheered them on and you were finally happy to bask in the sun as you and Cam Newton were dabbing because you guys were doing so well. Went to the Super Bowl and you lost. Okay, so this time around, looks like Cam Newton's going to be a little more humble, and we'll see if that can get you farther. But at the end of the day, it's about the football. So we're about to talk about the football. We're looking at your roster, your strengths, your weaknesses, go through the schedule, give you a win-loss prediction, and get the hell out of here. Number one, the first strength on this football team, the quarterback, Cam Newton. I've been critical of Cam Newton in the past, and I believe deservedly so. He was great in that 2013 regular season when they went 12-4, but then last year I thought he stepped down. 2014 he stepped down a little bit, didn't play as well as I thought he could have, and they suffered because of that. They still won the NFC South in 2014, but he should have played better to me. And then last year he finally ascended into that elite quarterback range, and I believe it is legit. Okay, but up until that moment, yes, he had been a struggling quarterback. He had been a guy that wasn't able to really go into that elite category, but then last year you saw it finally turn on, and this was surprisingly without Kelvin Benjamin, without any significant change in offensive philosophy. They ran a little more spread, a scheme and whatnot, but I think it was just his maturation as a quarterback finally clicked at the NFL level twofold, became an elite quarterback in the NFL. I don't think he's number one. I think that's ridiculous to say. He was number one rated on the NFL Top 100. I think that's absurd. How can you look at guys like Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady and say, I understand you've been great for 5 to 10 years, we don't care. This guy's been great for one, and we are now putting him over you. I think that's ridiculous. But if we're ranking the top quarterbacks in the league, for me, he's probably ranking 4 or 5, maybe 6, and that's pretty damn good, and that's a strength for you. There's no problem there. And moreover, just in terms of being an overall football player, having the ability to run and pick up extra yards running and getting rushing touchdowns, he's a very overall sound football player, great football player, and definitely a strength for this football team. We move on to the next strength. That's the linebackers for me. We have Thomas Davis, continues to be one of the elite coverage linebackers in the NFL. Last year, you went out and you drafted Shaq Thompson. He's moved up to the linebacking core at the strong side, surprisingly, at least for me, because I thought he was going to be a weak side guy, but they moved him over to the strong side linebacking position, and he's had success there. And he can also play the weak side position too. Hell, he can even play a little bit of the mic in some dime packages as well. So, it's nice to see the versatility there, and he was a good rookie last year. He's going to improve, take another step. And then, of course, we have the man in the middle, Luke freaking Kuechly. I mean, this guy is so great. I mean, this guy's so, I mean, it's actually a shame that we're not living in, let's say, the 80s, the 90s, even the early 2000s, because I think this guy would be regarded as one of the best players of all time. I mean, I think he's just as talented, just as efficient, just as good as even Ray Lewis, Brian Urlacher. I really believe he's at that echelon. It's just now we're living in a day and age to where that's not really the most important position. Mike, linebackers aren't as highly valued as they've been in years past. But if this was the early 2000s, I mean, we'd be talking about this guy right next to Ray Lewis. I truly believe this. This guy's headed for the Hall of Fame. The linebackers are great. And you have A.J. Klein behind these guys who's pretty good in his own right. So I really like the linebackers. Now, for me, I also went with the offensive line, but this could end up just being okay. But right now, you have your two guards, okay? I think it's the best, maybe the best or second best guard duo in the league, and Andrew Norwell and Trey Turner. Those two guys are terrific guards. And both, I put in the elite guard category, especially Trey Turner on the right side. That's fantastic. Center Ryan Khalil continues to be consistent, productive, no problem there. The tackles, they were good last season for the most part. Michael Orr, the guy really showed up, especially against the run. I mean, this guy was really good, better than I thought he'd ever was going to be. I'm a damn Tennessee Titans fan, and we had him in 2014, and he stunk, but you guys revived his career. You guys were telling me he's going to be good. I said, no way, and guess what? He was good. Can he be good again? We'll see. A little bit of a question for me, because he really wasn't good, and then for you guys, he was good. I don't know what kind of player that is. So I'd still a little bit of a question mark for me, but we can assume that he's going to be good again. And then Mike Remmers, your right tackle, really struggled in the Super Bowl, and so did Michael Orr, but also had some good games last season. I think he's okay, but overall I think the offensive line is a strength at this point. But just look out for those two guys at tackles. Just make sure that they're good again, because it wouldn't surprise me if they just came up and showed up and just said, I stink today. You just always have to be prepared for that, especially in the Super Bowl, as we saw. I also like the tight ends. Greg Olsen, and the guy continues to be one of the top 3 tight ends in the NFL. You have behind him some okay depth, not great depth. You drafted Bo Sandlin. I think you still have Ed Dixon. It's okay depth, but, with that okay depth and then with a great tight end, it's going to be a strength for me. And then let's get into the positions that could be strengths. First of all, the wide receivers. I think this wide receiving core is hurt. I mean, it is criticized a little bit too much. We always like to say, oh, Ted Ginn, who cares? Philly Brown, Corey Brown, whatever Brown he decides to be this week. I don't know which Brown I want to be Corey Brown this week. I want to be Philly. Who are you? Okay, can you make up your mind? I don't know why he keeps going by these different names. Anyway, Philly/Corey Brown and Ted Ginn, and we like to say these guys aren't good. Well, apparently they're good, because every time I'm watching the Panthers game, I see these guys streaking down the field wide open. Okay, they're getting open, and then Cam Newton is throwing them open and giving them the ball, and not even throwing them open, just giving them the ball. Just passing them the ball as they are open. So I don't want to keep hearing that they're not very good. Apparently they're good, because they're always open. And then you're bringing back Kelvin Benjamin. Now, apparently he's out of shape. Apparently he has some conditioning issues. Look out for that. Keep an eye out on that. But this is a guy that was really good his rookie season. Some people think he's going to get 1,400 yards. Now it sounds like he may only be up for 11. Okay, so just look out for that. Maybe lower your expectations a little bit, but he should be a 1,000-yard guy, but maybe 900. But anyway, Devin Funchess, apparently he looks pretty good. He got a little better as the season went on last year. He was always a project coming out of Michigan. I mean, Michigan, they haven't been able to coach since Jim Harbaugh just got there. Brady Hoke stunk, or whatever that idiot's name was. I can't even remember. I don't watch college football very much. That clown that was coaching Michigan, he didn't know what to do. They weren't developing any NFL talent in terms of coaching them up and getting them prepared. They weren't doing anything. So he needed to be be brought along slowly. He's getting better. He looks good apparently in training camp and whatnot. So the wide receivers could definitely end up being really good. Running backs, Jonathan Stewart. Wow, he really carried the load last year. Without D'Angelo Williams, he really stepped up. He should be able to do that again. Fozzie Whitaker, who really comes in on passing downs. And then you also have Cameron Artis-Payne, all right, who should also progress. The running backs could definitely end up being yet another strength for this football team. The defensive line could definitely end up being another strength for this football team. First of all, you have a great player, a great player in Kawan Short, okay, and he's not very short. I mean, this guy continues to come out and play well and show up and just continue to be a great guy. Really led your team in sacks this year, 11 sacks. I mean, that's just ridiculous at the defensive tackle position. 4-3 defensive tackle position. He's a great player, no question there. Now, Star Lotulelei, I think he's a little bit overrated. I think he's a guy that definitely shows up against the run. But boy, I don't see any pass rush from this guy. You have to take him out on passing down. So he's a little bit of a limited player for me. But he's fine. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying he's a little bit overrated. Some people say he's an elite defensive tackle. I don't think so. I think he's good. I don't think he's great. But you also signed in Paul Soliai from the Atlanta Falcons. Now, I say you take Star Lotulelei off of the field on passing down. You put in Paul Soliai. Okay, you have a little Polynesian duo there. And then you put in, Soliai during passing downs, and then you're able to get a little bit more of a pass rush from this defensive tackle position because your defensive ends are not great pass rushers. I mean, they get pressures, they don't get sacks. Let's talk about them. Coney Ely, 3 sacks in the Super Bowl. Great game for him. Even had, I believe, a forced fumble. That's great. But, and you believe, okay, Panther fans, they keep yelling at me, okay, look at this. He had 3 sacks. He's going to be good. Well, let's calm down. He had 5 sacks in what was it? In 18 games, and then he had 3 in 1. Okay, so we need to temper the expectations. One good game does not mean he's going to be good now. I don't think he's a very good starting defensive end in this league. I don't think he's going to be able to get 10 sacks for you. I think maybe this year he can go up to 7, and I think that's a fair projection. Charles Johnson on the other side, getting a little old, but he's fine. Still, I don't think he's going to get you more than 10 sacks. I think that time's over. Mario Addison, definitely not going to get you more than 10 sacks. More of a run defender to me. I think the pass rushing in terms of the defensive end, it's not really there. I think they're all very good against the run, but I think they're very inconsistent. Quan Short's the best pass rusher on this football team. The good thing is, though, behind them, the linebackers, Shaq Thompson, Luke Kuechly even, they can get a little bit of a pass rush. They can blitz and get after the quarterback, Thomas Davis as well. So that will help them out. But definitely for me, the defensive ends are not good enough in terms of pass rushing for me to put this defensive line as a strength for this football team. The safeties are actually good too, but I need to see how good they're going to be without Josh Norman. Okay, so we're talking about Kurt Coleman at the free safety position. My boy Louis T over at the Louis T Network, he hates this guy. He likes to say that Kurt Coleman really takes advantage of the fact that Josh Norman and all these other good players around him set him up for success. I can buy into a little bit of that from what I've seen on the film. And also, I can buy also into the fact that he's also smart to be in those certain positions, that he puts himself in those good positions as well. So I need to see how he's going to do this year. Trey Boston, sometimes a little over-eager for me, sometimes a little too aggressive, but as a strong safety in this league, he's pretty good. So the safeties should be good, but I need to wait and see. I can't quite put it as a strength. So we've talked about every position except for one, and that one position for me is the weakness of this football team, and that is the cornerbacks. Currently starting 2 rookies in James Bradbury and Daryl Worley. Now, I talked about them in my Panthers draft recap. I really don't have overbearing, loving love for these guys. I mean, I think James Bradbury, I like his physical profile. I think he has that starting corner mold, but a little bit unheralded coming out for me. It didn't really face very good talent. I think he's going to struggle when you ask him to defend Jordy Nelson, when you ask him to defend Larry Fitzgerald, when you ask him to defend these elite NFC wide receivers, Odell Beckham. He's going to have some issues. Julio Jones in your own division 2 times a year. There's going to be issues there for me. And now on the other side too, Daryl Worley. I'm not a big Daryl Worley fan at all. I didn't like almost anything that I saw from him, to be quite honest with you. I thought he was a 5th round talent. So I don't really love that. Maybe 4th round. But anyway, I don't really love that guy either. And then you drafted Zach Sanchez out of Oklahoma, but I'm not hearing anything about him challenging for a spot. I actually liked that guy the most out of the 3 corners that you drafted. Robert McClain, we know what we're going to get from him, and it's not going to be very good. We're also talking about, what's that guy's name? Teddy Williams, who's actually okay. I'm surprised he's not challenging for a starting spot. The corners aren't very good. And that's going to be an issue for, Ben Wickery, okay? Apparently he's going to be starting in the slot. He came off the PUP list, and now he's in the slot. He's going to be good there, I think, but in the slot, he's not going to be on the field 100% of the time, probably only 70% of the time. So cornerbacks definitely are a weakness right now. Now, maybe James Bradbury is going to be great, and maybe Zach Sanchez will get on the field and he'll be great, or maybe Daryl Worley will be great. I don't know. It's a weakness for me. Let's get into the schedule. So the Panthers team is very good. I mean, when your only weakness is your corners and all those positions I just talked about are strengths, that's great. Now, here's the problem, okay? Because Panther fans, y'all are, again, the loudest team, the loudest fan base in the world. Now, last year, y'all went up against the AFC South. Okay, you're not going to go up against the AFC South this year. You guys go up against the AFC West much harder, okay? This includes games. Week 1 going to Denver. I have you guys actually winning this game. I don't think there's going to be much of a problem there. This includes hosting the Kansas City Chiefs in Week 10. I think you guys are going to win this game, but, the Chiefs, they aren't an easy team to beat, so just look out for this one. Week 12 at Oakland. I have Oakland being a playoff team this year. It's going to be close. It's going to be tough, but I have you guys losing this one and then hosting the San Diego Chargers. You guys should win this one. 3-1 against the AFC West. You guys go up against the NFC West. Okay, so both of the Wests. You guys go up against the NFC West. You host the San Francisco 49ers in Week 2. That one should definitely be a win. Oh my God, what a win it will be. Jesus. Okay, Week 8, you guys host the Arizona Cardinals. This could be a potential NFC Championship rematch. Hell, it is a rematch. And even a preview because it could happen again. All right, so you guys should win this one in Carolina. I don't think there's much of a question there, but it will be tough, okay? It'll be tough. And then you guys go to Seattle. You guys beat Seattle last year twice, but both of the games were kind of close. That one in the playoffs, y'all pretty much pulled away early. And then the one against the Seattle in the regular season, they were kind of up on you. Y'all had to come back. I have you guys losing to Seattle here. I think it's time for them to beat you. Just take it and get over it. And then you guys also go up against, which team have I not talked about yet? Oh, the LA Rams in Week 9 at the LA Rams. Look, I mean, I don't think the Rams are going to be very good this year, but just look out because for some reason they like to play up to talent and they like to play down to talent. So they could be a little tricky, but you guys should definitely take care of that. 3-1 yet again. You guys yet again find yourselves against the NFC South in the NFC South. And here's where I think some troubles might occur. So you guys lost to the Falcons last year, late into the season. Could have went 16-0, but you lost to the Falcons. You guys really got into some close games with the New Orleans Saints. Okay, one of which was against their backup quarterback. I think it's a split this year with the New Orleans Saints. I think the Saints are going to be maybe a winning team. I think they're going to be challenging for a wild card spot. They're going to give you some issues again. And this year, I think they're going to pull it out because I thought they should have won at least one of those 2 games last year. I think the tides will turn and they'll get one on you. I think it's a split with the Saints. You guys go up against the Bucs. You guys pretty much handled the Bucs last season, but I think the Bucs are dangerous. I really, really, really do. I have you guys going 3-3 against the NFC South. And this is where you're really not going to like me. This is where you're going to tell me you're an idiot. No way. We're so much better than the Falcons, the Saints, the Bucs. I agree. I have you guys finishing with better records than all of those clowns. But I think there's going to be some intra-divisional issues here. Some tough games in this division. So I have you guys actually going 3-3 here. And then you guys go up against the first place teams in the NFC North. And the NFC East, that would be the Minnesota Vikings in week 3, and that would be the Washington Redskins in week 15. And let me tell you, at Washington week 15, they're going to give you troubles. And I have you guys winning this game, but just look out. They're going to give you troubles. And then hosting the Vikings, I have you guys winning this game, but look out because they're going to give you some troubles as well. I have you guys going 11-5. I think that's a good record. I think that's a fair record. You're not going to like it because you already have yourselves penciled in. Hell, you even not even a penciled, a permanent marker. You already have 13-3. Hell, 14-2. Some of you even 16-0. So you're going to say 11-5. What? But think about it. What a position to be in to where you are pissed because you're going to go 11-5. Because I have you going 11-5. I mean, this is a much better problem that you guys had last season or, before last season or before the season before that or just in the past 10 years, this is a good spot to be in. You'll win the NFC South. I have you guys being the 3rd seed in the NFC and then see what you guys can do in the playoffs. So I think it's 11-5. Best case scenario, I say 13-3. Worst case scenario, 10-6. You're at least going to be 10-6. But I could see you guys losing the games that I mentioned and then also losing at Washington. I think that's actually very, very possible, but we shall see. So there you go. There's my 2016 Carolina Panthers season preview. What do you think about the upcoming Carolina Panthers season? Make sure to comment down below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and most importantly to subscribe because almost every damn day I'm here giving you guys yet another season preview. Well, they're playing my music. You know what that means. This has been the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. Peace.